Hi, everyone, and welcome again to CoreNet New Jersey's podcast series. I'm your host, Greg Angelillo of JAG Advisory Services and member of the Education Committee for CoreNet New Jersey. I'm also joined by Banafsha Soltani and Mohammed Shahzad from the Education Committee. Thanks for being with us. Hi, Banafsha. How are you?
Hello. I'm well. Thank you.
Well, you should be well because this is another great episode that we have of our ongoing Digital Dish podcast series. And we're pleased to be joined by Lisa Brinkman of Jones Lang LaSalle as our guest today. Hi, Lisa. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you. Lisa Brinkman joined JLL back in March as a client relationship manager, but her career actually started on the client side where she was involved in real estate site selection, project and facilities management before moving to the service provider side, first at NELSON and then most recently at HOK. She likes to say that her value on the service provider side is that she speaks corporate. And I've known Lisa for a while. We've served on multiple committees together via CoreNet. So we're excited to have her in this series, which of course has been designed to educate our member and non-member audience on relevant real estate industry topics and current workplace strategies. We'd like to have our sponsors recognized. So you can check out our website for more on our chapter supporters who help make event series like this possible. That's www.newjersey.corenetglobal.org/home. So now that we have sort of the pleasantries out of the way, Lisa, thanks again for joining us. Please share with our viewers and our listeners more about your role and your client types. I know that this is a new role for you via 2021, but not as far as the industry. So if you could please enlighten us, that would be great.
Sure. So yes, in the midst of COVID, I decided to make change, which was really kind of interesting, onboarding into a new role and with a new organization and supporting a client all at the same time. And really my role as a client relationship manager it's been really very interesting from the perspective that it is allowing me to do all of the different things that I've done through my career in one job. So I touch occupancy planning, project management, facilities management. We like to talk about the fact that the client relationship manager is the glue between all of the different services that JLL is delivering to our client. And so we're really the interface, gathering up all the client requirements and translating that for them into deliverables for the JLL team.
Now, has the end user management at all varied or changed pre and post-COVID era? I can't believe we have to say pre and post-COVID, but yeah.
I know, and are we really post-COVID or are we just
right?
The next COVID? It's been a little interesting. I don't think it's really changed. I think most leaders in the real estate world and facilities world are really challenged right now with understanding how people are coming back, what they need when they come back, what numbers are going to come back. And I think there's been a reticence to move forward with any major change to how people were working before or the physical space that people are going to be working in. I think there's a real focus right now on working to get people back. I laugh because we spent a lot of time doing all of the social distancing scope of work, and then things changed and we took all that down. And now we're starting to ask the question, are we going back to putting some of that in? Are we back to social distancing, or is mask wearing just going to be sufficient for people to come back? But I don't think the client relationship has changed all that much. I do feel that there's a great desire on their part for guidance and an understanding of where they need to be focusing their attention.
Right. And then what are you hearing from the end users regarding real estate portfolios moving forward? Is there going to be a growth? Is there going to be a decline? What's the idea?
I think that there is more towards the decline in terms of consolidation of spaces, fully embracing hybrid work and seat sharing. I think that, we were kind of headed that way in the past, and this accelerated a lot of the adoption of that. It's interesting because I am now working with the end users, and we are seeing them really starting to talk about, well, I have 20 people, but I really only need 12 seats because we're not going to be in the office, and really trying to understand how we would plan for that, to make sure that the days where they might need to have everybody come in, that everyone will have a seat. So a lot of it is educational at this point to help them understand how to use their real estate a little bit differently.
So Lisa, you mentioned this has sort of been a culmination, this new opportunity for you at JLL within the last, call it 6 months, has really, your experience has led you to this point. So can you share with us just your experience, your background, how you got started in the industry, and really what led you to this point that may help out even some of our younger audience members?
No, that's great. I'm an anomaly. I like to tell people that I don't know for sure how I ended up where I am at this point. Sometimes I say I don't even know why anyone listens to what I have to say. I have a degree in education, and I ended up in corporate America at a point in time where there was a need. An organization utilized my background in education to help them develop a training program for a new facility that they were building in New Hampshire. And so from that point, I kind of transitioned from that into a role as an internal consultant, which was mostly methods and procedures consulting. And then over time, that led to the implementation of new technologies and workplace strategies and so on. And so it just evolved over a period of time. Somebody once said to me that I was the utility player. Whenever they didn't know what to do with something, it's give it to her, she'll figure it out. And so I tell people all the time is embrace challenges and things that people just kind of throw at you. Most of the time, common sense prevails, and logic, follow the logic of what you're looking at, and ask questions. I love to say I am the master of the dumb question, especially in a new situation. Don't be afraid to ask, and that's how you learn. And so, for me personally, it really was a very evolutionary means. And I ended up working for a company where we started building out new spaces. And my role in the new space build outs was at that point more technology focused. So I have a background in telecommunications and data installation. And from there, it then kind of morphed into more on the facilities side, and then site selection for our organization. I worked for Nextel for 4 years in a crazy growth period. And so I literally would come in on a Monday, and they would say to me, we've hired 50 people. They're starting next Monday. I need space. And that next Monday we had space. So it really is just a matter of embracing and being willing to learn and challenge yourself.
Talking about flexible.
Yeah, I was going to say, you took the words out of my mouth, Banafsha. That's right. Give it to Lisa. She'll figure it out. So we have one final segment, which we'll break into in a moment. It's our final 5 questions, but I have to ask you too, just in light of COVID and everything that's gone on, you talk to folks in commercial real estate and they may say to you, hey, how about, the market and where is it going to be? And if you put your hat on and crystal ball. So where do you see things, maybe in the immediate future, next 3 to 6 months and beyond that?
So I don't see a great deal of change in the short term. I do see change coming. I do think people are going to think differently about their real estate. I think we may see more hub and spoke portfolios where people are going to be better prepared should something like this occur in the future, and people being unwilling to take mass transit, get on a bus, get on a train, to be able to have more locations that might serve their employees rather than one specific location where everybody is housed.
Okay. That's fair and a good assessment, and we appreciate the insight. So thank you. All right, so this segment that we end our podcast with is called our final 5 questions. You're not prepped for these, but there's, we're not going to put you too much on the spot. In honor of the great James Lipton, right, with Actor Studio, we put a similar spin on this last segment of the podcast. And again, ask you our final 5 questions. Just quick hitters meant to keep you on your toes in a segment that we like to call pod culture. So are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. First question that we have for you is, what is the last gift that you gave?
The last gift I gave. I actually just bought a gift, which I'm giving tomorrow, which is a home sweet home sign for a friend that sold for 35 years and moved into a new place. And I want her to feel welcome and happy.
Awesome. Awesome. Perhaps there'll be a bottle of wine with that too, that, you guys can drink. What is your favorite song?
Ooh, I'm a very much a top 40 kind of person. So, that's a tough one. I have to say right now, I think it's Ariana Grande's Point of View, POV, is really kind of my favorite song.
Nice. Yeah, very, very good. Song of the summer so far, I guess, right? Banafsha, you want to take the next couple?
Sure. Where is your next trip? That is one of my favorite questions.
Hopefully Portugal. I don't know when, but I am hoping. That was kind of on my list pre-COVID. So I'm hoping I get out there post-COVID.
And if you are stranded on an island, what is the one item you must have?
I'd say my hair dryer, but that's not do me any good. I hope a good supply of wine.
Greg, you go for the last one. Yep.
I think that's fair. Yeah. I was going to say our last question is, you have a dream dinner guest, disregard timeline, location. Who would that person be?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Good choice. Good choice. Some well thought out questions there, and Lisa, some awesome answers. So we appreciate it. Thank you for giving us your gift of this conversation and your time. You are officially off the hot seat. We thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was great.
Of course. Yeah, well, you can learn more about Lisa and JLL by visiting their website at www.us.jll.com. Once again, we thank you so much, Lisa Brinkman, for being a part of this conversation. Thank you both to Mohammed and Banafsha, and we invite you to tune in throughout the next couple of months and beyond as we continue to add more to our New Jersey Digital Dish podcast series for CoreNet. Once again, I'm Greg Angelillo. Thanks for joining us.